Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 92. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I just want to thank you and honor you for sharing your time with me. Time really is our most valuable asset. And the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. So welcome to the podcast and enjoy today's episode. We're going to talk about focus in a way that I don't think I've ever discussed with you or shared with you a different way to look at it. So a lot of times we think about focus as a great thing, right? If I'm focused, I can get the task at hand done. If I'm focused, I can move towards my goal. If I'm focused, I'm blocking out all distractions. And those things are all very true. Yet there is a part of focus that can actually be distracting. And I just want you to take a deep breath and join me on this journey of thinking about focus differently. I am not saying to dismiss your level of being able to focus. I just want us to look at it a little bit differently than what we have maybe in the past. What really has brought this up for me is I think I've shared with you in other podcasts that I've spent the last 6 months taking a very early morning yoga class, hot yoga. And I noticed in the mornings, I'm so focused on getting there on time, getting into the studio, getting to the place that I like to put my mat, that I've been missing out on things along the way. So I made an intentional decision that I was going to slow my pace a little bit and pay attention to my surroundings from the moment I left my house to the moment I got to the studio. Now, I'm not saying take your eyes off the road. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I started using my peripheral vision more and not just ignoring what was happening outside of what was directly in front of me, but to actually pay attention. And it's funny, I've driven this same route now for 6 months or nearly 6 months. And I am seeing things that were there the whole time, but I never saw. I am realizing that there's a different route that I could go that's much quicker, yet a nicer route. I've started to learn things a little bit differently because I took my singular focus on getting to the studio on time and made it a greater focus of getting to the studio and enjoying the journey on my way there. As I know, and I've said this to you all before, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I started thinking about how that little change on the journey to the studio has made such a big difference that I know if I was doing that there, I'm doing it in my business. And I had, some realizations that I've been missing out on some great observations around me because I was so singularly focused on the task, getting to the studio, getting my lead generation done, getting my lead follow-up done, getting my marketing done. And I was missing out on so much that is around me. This is a NLP tactic that I learned many, many years ago that has really come back to me of the level of importance for us to implement this in our lives. You have peripheral vision and then you've got your vision that straight ahead. And I think a lot of times when we're focused on our business goals and our business actions, we are like a horse with blinders on. We're so singularly focused on the task that we don't pay attention to what's happening around us, much like the drive to the yoga studio. And as soon as I started doing this in my business practice, as well as my drive, I started getting different results because I allowed myself to take in different data than I had before. So I just want you to really think about that. I'm going to give you an example of this. So first of all, I want to say, embrace the broader vision that can happen on your way to a goal. Don't be so singularly focused on just getting that goal done, right? That's an action goal a lot of the times. And so we can have an action goal and we can have a result goal. Many times we only focus on the action goal And we should be focusing on the bigger goal of the result. So allow yourself to have a broader perspective, taking in more than just the task at hand, and to have that crystal clear vision that allows you to see a little bit wider than exactly what's in front of you. The second thing I'm going to say is, pay attention to that bigger picture. When I was a young coach, I worked for a company that had this challenge, and the intention of the challenge was to get our clients to talk to more contacts every day. So they set this challenge of 100 contacts a day. And I watched this happen over and over and over with the clients that I was coaching that decided to step into this challenge. They were so singularly focused on having 100 conversations for the day that they were missing opportunities right and left that were happening because they were so paralyzed by the focus of getting to that next contact, getting to my 100, got to get to my 100, got to get to my 100, that the opportunities were dropping all around them and they were missing it. And it's because they weren't allowing themselves to hear or see anything that interfered with them getting to 100 contacts. And I know this to be true. I had a couple clients send me their recorded calls so we could listen to their scripts. We could listen to how they did. And it was heartbreaking because I would hear a client give a clue that was totally dismissed. And I knew that they were in a hurry to get off the call with that person so they could get to the next one to achieve their 100 contacts a day. So allowing yourself to pay attention to the bigger picture. That exercise is phenomenal when we keep it in check. My goal isn't just to have 100 conversations. My goal is to have 100 conversations and to get leads. But we were in this lane of getting 100 conversations done. So pay attention to the bigger picture. When you sit down to do your lead generation, are you thinking about the result goal or are you just thinking about the action goal? I don't care what industry you're in. We're all in sales. And at some point, you've got to call on clients. You've got to take sales actions. And what are you focused on? Are you paying attention? The other thing that we might be missing out on by not focusing on the bigger picture is A, am I listening, actively listening? And B, am I paying attention to the data that's being given to me? We can absorb a certain amount of data every day, every second. It's a lot, but there's a lot more coming at us at any given time. And what we're focused on is only the data that we extract to us. So if I'm focused on just this one thing, I am blocking out a ton of data that's coming my way. I think about this a lot, right? We are hit with data. It's like drinking out of a fire hose every day. And it's funny, the things you pick up on and you dismiss are because of what you're focused on. So if we don't focus on the greater picture or the bigger picture, we're blocking out a lot of valuable data that's coming to us that we could use on the journey to success. So allow yourself to have a bigger focus area, which will allow different data to come in. It's truly amazing when you give yourself permission to do that. Part of what we miss out on when we're blocking out data is simply feedback. Simply feedback. If I am focused on only getting the task done and I make let's say 10 contacts a day, let's say my goal is to have 10 conversations a day, and I hit that goal. I have my 10 conversations and I'm checking it off my list. And at the end of the day, when I go to score myself on how my day was, I'm like, well, I did what I was supposed to do. I had my 10 conversations, but I didn't allow myself to have the greater picture or to experience the bigger picture. And I was blocking out feedback data. I was blocking out what clients were saying to me. I was blocking out key elements of a conversation. I wasn't paying attention to what the client was truly saying. And once you take your blinders off and you start to say, okay, I've had 5 conversations today. Yes, that's great. Yet I'm not moving forward towards my goal. What is going on? And you pause for a moment to assess the feedback that's right in front of you. That allows you to see things from a greater view and can allow you to make changes and adjustments along the way versus just plowing through to that end goal. So for me, on the drive to the yoga studio, I was like hitting potholes and missing beauty on the way. And when I finally just slowed down enough to pay attention, I was able to realize there was a different route I could go. This is going to sound really crazy, but Santa Fe, New Mexico does not have the best roads. A lot of it's dirt, a lot of it's got potholes. And when I just slowed down enough to listen to the feedback, I realized that there was another route to get to the studio that was way more beautiful of a drive. The roads had just been redone. It was paved the entire way, and it was just a much more enjoyable experience on the way to the studio. But had I not just stepped back and said, okay, I know the ultimate goal is to get to the studio by this time so I can make my class and get in and get my favorite spot in there. When I just really stepped back and I started looking at it from a bigger perspective, is when I realized there's a better way to do this. I get to the goal and I have a more enjoyable journey on the way. It's the same thing about lead generation, lead follow up, marketing, whatever you're doing, social media. It's the same concept. Pay attention to the path you're taking to get that goal done. Is there a different way? Is there a better way? Is there a way that's more fun? Is there a way that you're going to enjoy it more? Take a step back and pay attention to the feedback. Get out of that frontal vision only and take it all in and do something with it. This, again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Having this awareness in any aspect of your life or business is going to impact other parts of your life in business. I will say from my personal experience, since I became aware of this a little while ago and have been coaching myself, I've noticed a difference in the power of the phone calls I'm having, the power of the conversations I'm having, the experience I'm having getting to the ultimate goal of making more sales. And it's because I stepped back and allowed myself to see all of the feedback that's out there by taking on more of a peripheral approach to my actions. It really is important for you to do that. And part of that feedback is just the adversity of it, you know, looking at the wins that you had and making sure that they're the right win. So I go back to that example. It was such great intentions to have our clients have 100 conversations a day. It really was. It was a great intention. And we measured the win. They got a little button they got to wear. They were acknowledged in this program that they were in, which was all great. However, we weren't measuring the right win. We weren't, because we were so singularly focused on, did they get the 100 conversations? So don't step into that. Look at your true wins. The other thing that we must do when we want to take on a more peripheral vision of our actions and getting to goal is really to make sure that we're living into our future goal and visions at a really high level. It's why I coach my clients in their morning routine, their morning exercise, whether that's prayer, quiet time, journaling, meditation, yoga, whatever it is, that they spend time with their greater goals and their greater vision every single day. Because that helps us see a bigger landscape in front of us than just what I have to do for the day. Now, I'm a big fan of chunking our big goal down, yet I'm also a big fan that I spend time every single day, and I encourage my clients to do this, and I'm going to invite you to do this, living in that future vision, living in those future goals. And I'm writing them down every single day in my journal. In addition to doing that, I'm allowing myself to go to the space of a year from now. And the goal that I set, telling myself that I've achieved the goal and allow myself to feel the emotions, to experience it as if it's already happened. That has an impact on my bigger vision because I'm seeing more. I'm not just seeing that I made this financial goal. I'm allowing myself to see the impact it's having on me, my family and friends, my team, my legacy. By stepping and living into that, you're widening your view and you're reconnecting to that really big vision, which helps you move towards the goal in a different way. So spend some time really looking at the greater goal and the greater vision. It's going to impact how you see things. So just like in life, right? I can look straight ahead at this camera and only pay attention to the camera, or I can allow my peripheral vision to start paying attention to other things. Like I'm sitting here on this video right now, and if I were just looking at the camera, that single goal, get the podcast done, just focus on that, I would miss that. You know what? There's an opportunity with my background here. This is a live background, not a virtual. I need to move that plant, or I need to do this, or the lighting at this time of day is not really great for the video. I've got a skylight above my desk. Maybe this isn't the best time, because I've allowed myself to take in feedback and pay attention to all elements other than just get the podcast done. Just record the podcast. That's your only goal. It's not. So when I see these things, my next podcast can be even better. I can make adjustments. I can pay attention when I sit down the next time to do this. Do I need to do something with the skylight above me? Do I need to cover it? What could I do to make it better? And I think the last thing I'm going to recommend that you do when you're looking to widen your vision towards the actions that you're taking, moving you towards your goal, is to really spend a great amount of time in reflection and gratitude. Just to be grateful for the ability to see beyond the single task at hand, to be able to see the greater impact that it can and will have when you accomplish it. Likewise, if you don't, what you're going to have to give up. So really spend some time in reflection. And the other thing is spend time in gratitude. Being grateful for the gifts that you have, God-given gifts that you have, to be able to think broader than if I just did this task and simplified it to that. If I just did that, everything else will be okay. It might be, we might get to goal. But I promise you, if you spent time in reflection and gratitude, it would widen your vision and allow you to see things differently. Gratitude has a really great way of doing that. It allows you to see bigger picture. It allows you to see impact. It allows you to receive more, because until you're grateful for what you have, you're probably not going to receive any more, because you're not showing gratitude towards what delivered the gratitude to you. So spending time in reflection and gratitude is another great way. At the end of the day, team, I really just want to invite you to not get so blinded by the task at hand. Pay attention to the feedback. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what you could do differently or better. Don't just race through the task at hand and check the box that you got it done. Yeah, you got it done. Great. Did it support your greater vision? Did you pay attention to the feedback around you? Did you open yourself to new data that you're allowing to come in because you've got a bigger vision than the singular vision? That's key. That's going to change how you get ahead. So focus can be distracting if you allow it to be. I think focus is a great thing. I think focusing on goals and vision and future and life and impact is a great thing. I think focusing so narrow that you're blocking out incredible opportunities and feedback is where the distraction can happen. So as always, team, if you've got a question about this or anything else, just reach out to me. Tony@rethinkcoaching.com is my direct email address. I answer emails. If you go to our website, rethinkcoaching.com, there is a box that you can fill out with your name and contact information for a free 1-hour strategy session. So whether it's about this thing around focus and peripheral vision and seeing bigger, or it's around anything else that you're struggling with in your business or life, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to send you a link to my calendar and allow you to book a time that works for you. And we'll grab an hour-long call at no cost, and it'll be whatever you need it to be to help you either get unclogged or moving in a different direction. I'm always here to help out. Do yourself a favor, step back this week on your journeys that you take. Pay attention to the road in front of you, but on the journeys that you take, start using your peripheral vision a little bit more to see what it brings to you in life, and to know that you can do that exact same thing in your business. Go make it a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.